So can you see my presentation?
Yeah.
Yes, we can. Okay. So, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sara Satake. I'm a first year PhD student at the University of Tsukuba in Japan. And today I will present the research that I have been working on called the use of agent-based modeling to evaluate social food sharing behaviors in early hominids. So for this presentation, I'll be covering these topics. So let's start with a brief introduction. First, I would like to talk about agent-based modeling in digital archaeology. Digital archaeology is a subdiscipline within archaeology that use digital technologies to investigate the past. So some examples are the usage of digital photography, geographic information systems, GIS, 3D scanning, and computer simulations. And when we deal with simulations, we can mention the agent-based model approach. And archaeologists started using agent-based models in the late 1990s to study how complex systems and their individual parts function. So these models simulate ancient landscapes using geological evidence, fossils, artifacts, and modern ecological comparison. So this helps to create a strong framework for predicting and testing different behaviors. So the hominids are ancient humans and their relatives. They are a challenging study field for archaeologists because of limited fossil traces and the vast difference related to their behaviors, especially those related to social interactions and basic resource use. Um, and although there is debate about the details of the hominin diet, there is agreement that cooperative actions related to obtaining food were important for the development of the offspring. So knowing this, the study of cooperative behaviors such as food sharing among those in need is a complex system to model with different possible scenarios, hypotheses, and rules. So in this study, we present an agent-based model to simulate the foraging behavior of early hominids on a complex environment landscape. And the model focuses on food gathering and scavenging and includes social food sharing. So, and we build on Griffith's initial model that I will be explaining it later, uh, which simulated a tool used but did not include social interactions between individuals. So digital archaeology is becoming more common and integrated into everyday archaeological practices as archaeologists get used to using digital tools. The old and traditional methods and technologies they use become less noticeable, even though the impact and visibility of their work grow. And because there are many different historic contexts with many parameters and scenarios to be considered, works involving agent-based models in archaeology usually focus on a specific historic context. So we have this work. It's called Hominid and Agent-Based Spatial Simulation Model to evaluate behavioral patterns of early Pleistocene hominids where the authors were interested in simulating behaviors of two species of proto-humans that are called hominids. And they lived in the African savanna between 2.5 and 1.5 million years ago. And they had some questions to be answered, like how foraging behaviors change in two different ecological layouts, and what's the influence of the use of digging tools in hominin diets. And to answer these questions, they created an agent-based model composed by agents being represented as hominin agent, plant agent, and carcass agents. So the hominin agents, they attempt to survive by eating plants or carcass in different environments. And if there are a sufficient number of underfed hominins agents, the group will relocate their nest. This is the basic flowchart for the model. The hominin starts the day and it needs to scan surroundings for food. And if it finds food, it will eat until it is satisfied. Otherwise, it will scan for food again. And if the hominin is satisfied, it can return to the nest and stays there until the day is over. So with this model, we've noticed that the author did not consider social behaviors among hominid agents. Even though social behaviors are an important aspect to consider when studying these ancient living beings. So with this basic knowledge of the decision-making process performed by the hominin agents in the original work, we propose a new model more focused on social behaviors. In this case, the food sharing. So when hominid agents are satisfied, they can contribute in some way to the group. So this is the flowchart for the new model. We try to keep it as close to the original model as possible. This approach tries to awake the importance of social interactions between agents. And with this, observe the main consequences to the group. About the distribution of extra food, the extra food collected for now is left in the nest. And at the end of the day, the food is distributed to those in need. So basically, for the proposed model, we have the agents that are the hominins, plants, and carcass. The hominin agents interact with plants by eating them to get calories to survive. And plant agents and carcass agents interact with hominin agents by providing them their calories and being eaten. And these agents also have some important actions that make them alive in a given environment. And in a very simple way, a hominin agent can move. This action is basically related to search for food. And the plants grow and decay over the time, and carcass appears and also decay. So this is in the original work. But now we propose that hominin agents can also collect food. And if they are moving, it is searching for food to eat or to collect. So some experiments for initial experiments, because we are interested in exploring social behaviors, we have this question to be answered: how the distribution of food among needy hominins affect the group, and what will be the average calorie consumption of the hominin agents? How this is reflected in relocation of nests. And to try to answer these questions, we created one scenario where we have 10 hominin agents, one species of plant, 2,000 plant agents, and 50 possible nests. And if there are at least 5 underfed hominins, the nest is relocated the next day. And we also consider 90 days. We also defined some setup parameters for the environment. We created a 100 by 100 map with a layout similar to the map the original authors used. As we can see, there are 3 types of cells representing 3 types of topographic zones. And they are channel, flooded, and unflooded. So for now, what the topographic zones influence the agent is related to plant agents. So plant agents do not grow in channel and flooded topographic zones. So when we create plants in a map, we can observe them being placed randomly like this. Here we can see what happened with the average calories consumption before and after sharing food, and there was an increase. The median value of total calories consumed before food sharing was just over 2,000 calories, and after sharing food, the median was close to 2,500 calories. This next image shows the concentration of homin agents in the environment across the 90 days. We can see the red dots as the places that they stayed the most. We can compare with the map of plants that these concentrated spots are related to the areas that nests are located. In the future, this strategy is important to observe the nest relocation behavior according to the topographic region and also the plant species that are present in these specific regions. So for future works, we intend to make this model more complex, little by little. For instance, we would like to include one more type of plants with different features, so it could also relate to the topographic zones that I mentioned before. Also, the complexity of the structure of hominin agents that currently is pretty simple, and we can explore it more, trying different computational approaches as the model becomes more complex. We also want to create new maps as well, new scenarios, especially to explore more social related behaviors. Another important factor is validation that we are currently working on with exploratory results. So observing the consequences of parameters and interactions of agents. But in the future, validation by literature review is also important to understand existing theories and hypotheses about this archaeological context. We can also consider to validate the model by comparing the outputs with specific case studies or well-documented archaeological sites. We can refine the model based on feedback, this being another important factor that involves feedback from experts, so we can incorporate suggestions and criticisms to improve the model's accuracy and relevance to archaeological context. And following these steps, archaeologists can effectively validate agent-based model, ensuring that they provide valuable insights into past human behaviors and societies. So that's my presentation. Thank you for listening.